my name's Jade and welcome to my channel. If you're new to the channel, please press the little red subscribe button and the little bell so that you can receive notifications each time I upload a video. Today's video is all about my second day in Kolkata. If you watch my first video, you'll notice that I discussed Calcutta and I talked about how wonderful it was and lovely and quiet, and I truly think I had a soft landing into Calcutta. We arrived into Newtown and we hadn't Newtown 2 and I hadn't ventured into the main part of Calcutta, which was about 13 kilometres away from where we were staying. In the morning, we woke up for our second day in Calcutta and we had a beautiful breakfast in our hotel. I had bananas and dates and it was absolutely scrumptious. They were the nicest dates I've actually ever tried. I don't know where they were from, but they almost had like a coffee taste to them. They were really delicious. So we get up, check out of our hotel and we grab a cab, and I swear to God, this cabbie was like he hadn't slept in days. His eyes were bulging out of his head. He was swerving all over the road, and there was so much traffic everywhere. All of a sudden, we're like, oh my goodness, we truly haven't seen Calcutta. Well, now here we go. We're entering Calcutta. As we were driving into Calcutta, there were cows crossing the road, and we saw goats getting herded places and different types of markets everywhere, street dogs. It was just unbelievable. We also saw a lot of poverty, and I mentioned yesterday that I really hadn't seen any, and nothing was in my face in Calcutta part like version 2, but as we came into, I guess it's called Calcutta version 1, we started to see just how much poverty there is in Calcutta, and every single street corner there were people begging for money. There were children just so dirty, begging for money, no shoes, their clothes were filthy. There were ladies holding babies that you could see were just drugged, and they were begging for money, and you saw, people with limbs missing and diseases and all sorts of things, and it was really, really horrible, and it made you realise just how lucky we are for the life that we have, very privileged life that we have, and we take it so much for granted just how much we do have. But when you're faced with seeing the true harsh realities of this world, it makes you realise just how lucky you are for your life. And after seeing all the bits of poverty, it's funny, there was a guy the day before in the morning discussing to somebody else as they went to Mother Teresa's house, and he said it took him 12 to 14 hours to get over seeing the poverty. And he obviously very new, I'm new to India too, but very new to Asia. And I can remember when I first started entering into Asia, just how overwhelming it was for me too when I was faced with these kind of things. So I can understand. It's always horrible being faced with poverty, but I guess over the years I've learnt to be able to handle it a lot more because I've seen a lot more with my travels. And I don't know, you hit a point where you just say, I just don't know what else I can do anymore. And I guess the only thing we can do is give people their dignity. Because it goes on and on and on. I always have a saying where I just say, you know what, I can't help everyone, but if I can make a difference to someone's day, that's the least I can do. We then entered into Mother Teresa's house of missionaries, and that was somewhere I really wanted to go because Mother Teresa, I just think she's just an amazing woman. Everything she's done, everything she's achieved, and the way she lived her life, it was total obedience following Jesus. And it was really interesting as we went into the place. There's sort of like a museum, a shrine, and you weren't allowed to take any photos, but you could read. There were photographs of her bits and pieces, and you could read information about it. And she carried a sort of Muslim bag, cloth bag, and very basic, very simple, because she was a simple person in her needs. And she used to always say, never go and see the poor empty-handed, which is so true. Why are you going to see the poor if you've got nothing to give them? They're not sideshows. They're in need. So I liked that she had that there. You saw her sandals, basic brown sandals, and each day when she put her sandals on, she would say, Jesus, these will take me where you want me to go. And obviously he took her far and wide. As you went up the stairs, and you saw where her bedroom was, and it was just a tiny little sort of stone bedroom, and she had a very basic bed with a thin little mattress, and apparently it would get very hot in her room, but she never had a fan. That's what it was. And there was a desk there, and she used to get up each morning and answer her correspondence from people all over the world. And I can imagine there would be quite a bit of correspondence from people from all over the world. And next to her bed, she had a photo of Jesus Christ, and she had the crucifix there. And I thought, I wonder if she had that there to remind her each day, because I'm sure she would have suffered day in, day out. You can't serve the poor in countries like that day in, day out and not suffer yourself, your heart, your mind, your body, your soul. It would take a lot out of you. And I honestly believe that she must have had that crucifix there just to remind her of how much Christ suffered for us. And as I went downstairs and went into her where her tomb is, there were 3 paintings, and I could have taken a photo of these, and I wish I did. I was hoping they were going to be on the net, with her 3 visions. And one of the first vision was go and serve the poor, and the second vision was Jesus telling her, bring them to me. And that was her Great Commission. Of course, her Great Commission was feeding the poor and making sure they were fed, and giving them beds to sleep and in medical care and things like that. But her greatest commission was to bring them to Jesus, and that's what she did. And she walked the streets of Calcutta, which wouldn't have been easy after I saw just how busy, and I only saw a couple of blocks, and all I could see was poverty. So I can't even imagine the extent of poverty, and going into the slums and the villages and things like that, and just seeing just how much was there. After we went to Mother Teresa's house, we went to the new market, and that was just absolutely stressful. I never even really got to enter the new market, because just outside there were just men trying to grab us, trying to bring us in there, trying to ask us, what do you want to buy? What do you want? And it just got too much. I saw another Western woman, and she was getting hassled by the people outside too, and I saw her face. It was just like, leave me alone. In the finish, I'd had enough, just as I was walking in, about to try and look at stuff, and they don't understand. I'm just looking, of course I want to buy something. No, I don't. In the end, I said to a man, I said, we're not good people to follow, because we're not going to be buying anything. And he took off, and I thought, oh, good, that might be the end of it. I can have a bit of a relax and a little look. But sure enough, somebody else latched onto us. So we walked out the market, and that was it. And didn't have a look. And if that was the start of my experience going into markets in India, I'm not in a hurry to go into any more. It was just too much for me. I was so overwhelmed in the finish. And then we had a little walk around Calcutta before we had to get on our train, and even then we were getting stopped and hassled by people. We'll get you a train ticket, we'll do this for you, we'll do that. It's just like, oh my goodness, we've got a train ticket, we've got this, we've got that, leave us alone. And after that, we were just exhausted, and we honestly had done nothing. We'd gone on the drive into Calcutta, been into Mother Teresa's house, attempted to go into the new market. Oh, as we went into the new market, we actually went on one of those bicycle things with the seat for two at the back. And when we were on the guy's bike, we knew it was meant to be 100, and he wanted to get 200, and we got him down to 100. But as we were going into the market, and it was a fair distance, we're quite heavy. We're not little Indians, and plus we had about 8 kilos each in our backpack. And as we were going through the little side streets, and we're ducking and weaving goats and cows and chickens and pigs and whatever else is in these little laneways, we saw all these little bicycle things, whatever they are, and there were people just living in just total squalor. People had their babies sleeping in these things and whatever. And I said to my partner, I said, this is where they live. I said, we've got to remember that. And we finished our little ride with the guy. We gave him 200, and he actually wanted to hand back the other 100, the sweetie. And we told him, no, we want to give to you. And his eyes lit up like a Christmas tree. And you just can't imagine for such small amounts what a difference it makes for their life. It's a difference between their family eating or not for the day. So it's always, for me, it's always something I'm mindful to when people are doing me a service in these kind of countries. Anyway, thank you so much for watching my video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. Leave a comment below. Let me know any of your travelling experiences. And most of all, love life, live free, and be kind to the number one person in your life, you. Thanks for watching.